So how it goes, folks, Jolly Yellow talking to you, and now that I've had a time to sit down and watch the first few episodes of the new Ranma 1/2 remake, I have feelings. So yes, the new Ranma 1/2 series, or Ranma 1/2 remake, is in full swing, and while I am enjoying it, I have noticed that I have a bit of a nostalgia problem going on here. So, for example, when it comes to Kuno, who was introduced, I believe, in episode 3, I think it was. His voice is a little bit weird to me because he's supposed to be 16, 17 years old, but he sounds like a whole grown-ass man. Speaking of voices, the voice for Nabiki Tendo, that's Akane's older sister or the middle Tendo sister, her voice sounds a bit off too, almost like it doesn't fit her character, but, you know, for the most part, I can let that go. Also, another thing when it comes to, I guess, when moving from voices over to pronunciation, Kasumi, I always called her Kasumi. That's what she was called in the older dubs, but now they're calling, I think they're saying, instead of Kasumi, it's Kasumi, or I believe there's a way they're pronouncing that, and that has been something of a jarring change that I need to get used to because, for all I know, probably should have been calling her Kasumi even back in the olden days, but English dubbing wasn't perfect in the early to mid 90s. And I will say one last thing that turns me off a little bit is with Akane, because it feels like they're trying to really bring in some like hatred of men. And now on the surface, of course, I understand the fact that she is constantly accosted by guys trying to date her, potential suitors and everything like that, because it's a love story. So I can understand her being aggravated with that and everything, but it does seem that they're pushing that a little bit more than what they did in the original. And again, I'm not trying to say she's wrong to be aggravated by guys coming after her all the time. That's fine. But it seems like literally is coming up as I hate men and everything. And it's a whole nother mess that I could get into, but I really don't feel like it. But now I have a question for you. So it seems that season 1 is just going to be an introduction. Here's Ranma 1/2 world. We're gonna get, you know, as many of the suitors and potential love interests as possible into the mix as quickly as possible. It almost seems like they're dropping a new one about every other episode. So far we've got Ranma, Akane, they exist, they've been betrothed, they both hate it. Now we've seen Kuno, who is interested in Akane, but seems to may also be interested in female Ranma. And then we've also introduced Ryoga, who has an intense hatred for Ranma, or boy Ranma, but is kind of doing the squeamish nosebleed thing around Ranma and seems to have interest in Akane. Who do you think is going to be introduced next? For those of you who know and are familiar with Ranma 1/2, you would recognize some of the other characters that kind of float around in that universe. I think at this point, since we've gotten 2 male interests in a row like this, we're probably going to get a female interest coming in next. And my money is going to be on either Shampoo or Ukyo as the next one. And also, when we get Shampoo, with her comes along Cologne, who has a lot of knowledge of how the world works and a lot of martial art and mystical knowledge and things like that. So my guess is probably going to be Shampoo, just to bring another woman into the mix. But what do you think? Who's going to be the next suitor introduced in the Ranma 1/2 remake? You folks have a good one. Jolly Yellow out.